Welcome back, student. This is a video for the external features of medulla. This is the ventral surface of the brain which we are seeing. This is the forebrain is here. Here is the midbrain. Just I will point it out. This is the location of midbrain. This is the pons and this is the medulla oblongata. The pons, medulla oblongata, and behind of these two structure, pons and medulla, this is the cerebellum. So this cerebellum, medulla and pons, they are collectively known as the hindbrain. Now in this video we will only concentrate on to the medulla oblongata. If you will see the medulla, you will notice that medulla is about 3 centimeter long and about 2 centimeter wide, and it is conical in shape. When I say conical in shape, that it means its broad end is just touching to that of the lower margin of the pons. That means upper end of the medulla above is continuous with that of the pons, while the lower end of the medulla, after passing through the foramina magnum, will continue with that of the spinal cord. Now, if this medulla itself, though it is a cylindrical conical body here, it consists of the two parts. A closed part, which is the lower part of the brain, this medulla, and an open part, which is that of the upper part of the medulla. In this, you cannot see the open and closed part of the medulla. For that, we will see a section, mid-sagittal section of the brain, where you can see the posterior relation of the medulla along with the cerebellum as well as the other structure. Let me bring this cross section. You see, this is the not cross section. This is the mid-sagittal section here. And here in this mid-sagittal section, you can see that this part is that of the pons, and from below this imaginary line, this much part below is that of the medulla, which is about 3 centimeter long, and it consists of two parts. Upper half is the oval, it's not oval, upper half is the open, it is an open part, and the lower part is a closed part. When I say the lower part is a closed part, means there is a canal running inside the lower part of the medulla, which is closed part, and below this canal, which is called as the central canal, will continue with the canal of the spinal cord. That's why it is called. As soon as it will come to the upper part of the medulla, this canal will open up in the floor of the in the fourth ventricle, not in the floor. It will open up into the fourth, and this is the fourth ventricle, which we have seen that the fourth ventricle lower part is formed by the posterior surface of the open part of the medulla, while its upper part is formed by the posterior surface of the pons. Since we are confining ourselves to that of the medulla, so you just here get an idea about the open part and the closed part of the medulla oblongata. Roughly, this is the line where the central canal will be there, though it is not seen in this specimen, because this must have gone to the opposite half of that. The canal the canal must have gone to that of the opposite half. Now, if we come back to the description of the medulla, where I have divided into the open and the closed part, and if we will see the medulla from that of the anterior surface. So now we come to the description of the medulla oblongata or medulla as seen from the ventral or the basal surface of the medulla. Then we will see that there is a presence of a midline fissure. You can see here where the point of this ball pen is there is the presence of a midline fissure in the medulla, which is dividing the medulla into the right and left equal halves. This is called as the anteromedian fissure. So this is the anteromedian fissure of the medulla, and then you will see a swelling on either side. of this anteromedian fissure where I am putting the tip of the ball pen. This is called as the pyramid. Okay, this is called as the pyramid, and this pyramid, okay, it is bulging here, and this bulging is because there is the presence of the bundle of the white fibers which are descending down from brain towards the spinal cord, and hence they are called as corticospinal fibers on right side as well as left side. So those fibers which are coming from cerebral cortex, they will end into the spinal cord various levels, hence this is the bundle of the corticospinal uh, fibers or bundle of the corticospinal bundle. But here these two bundle at the lower level, okay, in front of the closed part, they will decussate, that means fibers of the left pyramidal tract or this pyramid will cross to the opposite side partly, that is up to 75%, and from that right side will go to the left side. So there is the crossing of the fiber takes place here, and this is the crossing of the fibers of pyramid, okay, which is present on either side of the anteromedian fissure. That's why this decussation is called as the, okay, the pyramidal decussation. I will show you in this, it is not seen because this will lead to the obliteration of this anterior median fissure. On either side of the pyramid there is a groove. You see this groove, and this is called as the anterolateral sulcus. This is known as the anterolateral sulcus, and behind, I would say just lateral to this anterolateral sulcus on either side there is another swelling oval in shape, hence it is called as olivary swelling. This is called as this one. This one is on the right side and this is on left side, olivary swelling. Why the swelling is here? This is because there is a presence of a large nuclei collection of the gray mass, and this is called as the inferior olivary nucleus. That's why this bulging is called as olive. Now just I am turning this to show you another sulcus which is lateral to the olivary swelling, and this is called as the posterolateral sulcus. So this posterolateral sulcus, okay, this is will be separating another bundle of the white matter here, and that is the inferior cerebellar peduncle. So what are these bulgings? Pyramidal, okay, or pyramids, then olivary swelling, and then the inferior cerebellar peduncle. So the olive is separated by the two sulci, anteromedial and anterolateral. So there is an anteromedial and anterolateral sulcus are there, not the postero. Probably I told you the posterolateral, anterolateral, and the anteromedial and anterolateral sulci. So this between two sulci is the olivary nucleus or olivary swelling is there. Now this sulci, they give attachment to the nerve. Okay, this anteromedial sulcus, it gives attachment to the 12th cranial nerve on either side, hypoglossal, while the anterolateral sulcus, which lies lateral to the olive and between the olive and that of the inferior cerebellar peduncle, is giving attachment to the 3 nerve, 9, 10th and 11th, glossopharyngeal, vagus and accessory. All nerves are not seen here, okay, they are not seen. Similarly, at the upper border of the medulla, between the pons and medulla, these grooves on either side gives attachment to the 6th, 7th and 8th cranial nerve. 6th is abducent, 8th is the facial, 6th is the abducent, 7th is the facial, and 8th is the vestibulocochlear. That I will show you in the diagram as these nerves are detached from here. Whenever I will get a better specimen with the nerve, I will show you there. So this was the anterior aspect of the medulla. Let us go to the posterior. Since the cerebellum is present posterior to the medulla in this specimen, I am not going to detail this specimen, but this is seen only after when you cut all the three cerebellar peduncle, middle cerebellar peduncle, as I have shown you here, this one. This was the middle cerebellar peduncle. You just give a cut here, give a cut to this inferior cerebellar peduncle here, okay. Give this cut to the inferior cerebellar and deeply located is the superior and then on either side, right, and then detach this cerebellum so as to expose the posterior surface or posterior aspect of the medulla, okay. This I will show you with the help of the diagram because I don't want to sacrifice this specimen, okay, just by cutting, okay, it. I will just give you an idea with the help of the diagram, okay. Again the same book, neuroanatomy book for the medical students, and here I will show you. This was the anterior aspect which I wanted to show you. I have shown you there, and this is the pyramid, then olive, and then it is the inferior cerebellar peduncle between pyramid and olive. This is the 12th cranial nerve, the hypoglossal nerve, and here is the nerve what is on between the olive and inferior cerebellar peduncle, that is the 9th glossopharyngeal, vagus, 10th, and accessory, the 11th cranial nerves they are. This is the abducent, the facial, and the 8th, the vestibulocochlear nerve, okay. So this is from the anterior aspect of the medulla. What we are interested in seeing the close and the open part of the medulla. As see this here. This is the closed part of the medulla where central canal is present, and this is the open part of the medulla where it is forming the floor of the fourth ventricle. So that fourth ventricle lower part will lie posterior to the open part of the medulla. If we detach the three cerebellar peduncle, as I said, if we detach that of the middle cerebellar peduncle, just a minute. Okay, this middle cerebellar, the inferior, and that of the superior cerebellar peduncle, which are cut here and seen here. This is the middle cerebellar peduncle, superior, and this is the inferior. All three cerebellar peduncle, if we cut from both the side and detach the lobes of cerebellum, right and left, joined together, then what we will see, this is the posterior aspect. This is the diagrammatic representation. This is the actual photograph after taking out the cerebellum. This is the posterior aspect of the midbrain, superior colliculi and the inferior colliculi on either side. Okay, this is a ridge you are seeing here, and this ridge, they are the I mean to say, which represent, okay, these ridges, they represent the junction of the pons, posterior surface of the pons, and the open part of the medulla, okay. They are open from the open part of the, these ridges are called as stria medullaris, and below this is the pons. This is that open part of the pons, and here is the below is that of the closed part of the medulla, and again in the closed part of the medulla you will also see the postromedian sulcus. See here, it is shown here to some extent, okay. I hope you can zoom it out and then see. This is the postromedian sulcus is there, and on either side of the postromedian sulcus in closed part of medulla you are seeing the two swellings, and these are for that of the fasciculus gracilis and fasciculus cuneatus, because they are the bundles, and on the top will be nuclei. So this is the bundle of the fibers which are going to the nuclei of the fasciculus gracilis and fasciculus cuneatus you are seeing here. So this is from the posterior open part, as well as this is the closed part, and here is the beginning of the central canal. This will be, and it will go deep, okay, it will go deep. Let us see this diagram also, okay. From the anterior aspect, pyramid, anterior median fissure, and here is that pyramidal decussation is taking place. Pyramid will give the spinal fibers, and here they are just seen. This is because this anteromedian fissure is getting obliterated. So fibers are running from one side to the other side, thus decussating. Anteromedial sulcus and anterolateral sulcus, okay, it is there. And then this is the olive, and this is the inferior cerebellar peduncle, as it is seen, okay, as it is seen here. And then, okay, I think this completes the external feature of the medulla, both from ventral aspect, both from and also from that of the posterior aspect. I have just shown you the external features of medulla and the attachment of the cranial nerve. Thank you very much for watching this video on the external features of the medulla oblongata. Welcome back, students. This is just a correction. I think by mistake, few minutes back, I told you that the wrong name of the sulci. Okay, in the midline on anterior aspect of medulla, this is the anterior median fissure, Fissure. This is a anteromedian or anterior median fissure. Then on to the lateral side of this pyramid, this is a sulcus, not the fissure, and this is called as the anterolateral sulcus. And then posterior and lateral to that of the olivary swelling, there is one more sulcus is here, and this is called as the posterolateral sulcus. Okay, by mistake probably I have told you this sulcus, which is anterolateral sulcus, I have called it as posterolateral sulcus. Okay, probably I was wrong. Okay, so just correct yourself. Thank you very much, and sorry for this, okay, correction.